Rain streaked down the windows of the apartment Isabel Crane had shared with Derek Mason for 18 months. She sat motionless on their bed, his phone clutched in trembling fingers, staring at photographs that dismantled every dream she had carefully constructed. 2 years of engagement. 2 years of planning their wedding. 2 years of protecting something precious because she believed he was worth waiting for. All of it had been a performance. The images were explicit, Derek with at least 3 different women in positions that required no interpretation. Text messages spanning months revealed a pattern of deception so thorough that Isabel questioned every memory they had shared. Derek emerged from the bathroom, towel wrapped around his waist, smile bright and unsuspecting. "Morning, babe. Want to check out that brunch place downtown?" Isabel stood slowly. Her voice came out steady, surprising her. "We need to talk." His expression flickered when he noticed the phone in her hand. The color drained from his face like water from a broken vessel. "Isabel, whatever you think you saw." "I saw everything, Derek." She held up the screen showing him entangled with a blonde woman she did not recognize. "Who is she?" "Actually, do not answer that. I do not care anymore." It meant nothing. They meant nothing. He stepped toward her, hands raised in supplication. "And I did?" Isabel grabbed the overnight bag she had packed while he showered. "Because it certainly does not feel that way. Please, we can work through this. The wedding is in 4 months. There is no wedding." The words tasted like freedom and ash simultaneously. "I want you gone by tonight. This is my apartment. Your name is on the lease, but our life was built on lies." Isabel walked past him, refusing to look back at the man who had wasted 2 years of her existence. "Goodbye, Derek." The weekend dissolved into tears and sleepless nights. By Monday morning, Isabel forced herself to return to Ashworth Enterprises, where she worked as a senior analyst in the mergers division. Work would be her anchor, her distraction from the wreckage of her personal life. Megan Torres, her closest friend at the company, appeared at her desk within minutes. "You look like you have not slept in days. What happened?" "Engagement is off. I will explain at lunch." The morning passed in mechanical productivity. Isabel moved through spreadsheets and projections on autopilot, her mind replaying Derek's betrayal in torturous loops. When noon arrived, Megan guided her to a small cafe 3 blocks from their building, a quiet place where conversations could remain private. They chose a corner booth separated from neighboring tables by wooden partitions. Isabel barely sat down before the tears started falling. "Tell me everything," Megan said softly. The story poured out, the discovered messages, the photographs, the confrontation. And then came the confession that made Isabel's voice crack with humiliation. "I waited for him, Megan. 2 whole years I waited because I believed our wedding night should be sacred." Her voice rose, raw with pain. "I am still untouched. 28 years old, engaged for 2 years, and completely innocent. Meanwhile he was sleeping with every woman who smiled at him. That is not your fault. You have principles. What good did principles do me?" Isabel buried her face in her hands. "I saved something precious for a man who never deserved it. Who never valued anything about me except my willingness to wait while he satisfied himself elsewhere." What neither woman realized was that Nathan Ashworth, CEO of Ashworth Enterprises, occupied the booth directly behind them. A wooden partition separated the spaces but did nothing to muffle their conversation. He had come seeking 20 minutes of peace from his demanding schedule, planning to review acquisition documents over coffee. Instead, he found himself frozen, listening to a voice he recognized instantly. Isabel Crane. He had noticed her exceptional work for months, detailed analysis, creative problem-solving, reports delivered ahead of schedule. But he maintained rigid boundaries with employees, especially after his own devastating betrayal 5 years ago. The word still untouched struck Nathan with unexpected force. This was not inappropriate curiosity. This was recognition, a woman who had trusted completely, valued something precious, and been destroyed for her honesty. Just as he had been. Nathan sat motionless as his coffee grew cold. He heard Isabel cry, heard her friend's attempts at comfort, heard raw vulnerability in every fractured word. Something long dormant began stirring in his chest. For 5 years, since his fiancée had cheated with his business partner, Nathan had constructed walls around his heart. He had convinced himself that genuine connection was impossible, that everyone pursued angles, that trust was foolishness. But Isabel's tears touched something deep within him. She had not become bitter. She still felt, still cared, still believed in something beyond self-protection. That made her remarkable. When Isabel and Megan finally departed, Nathan remained seated for a long time. His fingers drummed against the table as his mind raced with implications. He should forget what he heard. Should maintain professional distance. Should protect himself from the danger of caring again. But he could not stop thinking about her, the image of her crying, the sound of her voice breaking, the knowledge that she had valued something sacred only to have it discarded. By the time Nathan returned to his office that evening, a decision had formed. He did not know exactly what he would do or how he would proceed, but he needed to understand what it was about Isabel Crane that had cracked the ice surrounding his heart. The next morning, when he saw her walking into the building with red-rimmed eyes that spoke of another sleepless night, Nathan felt an unfamiliar ache spread through his chest. For the first time in 5 years, the man his employees called untouchable felt warmth spreading through him. And Nathan Ashworth knew with absolute certainty that his carefully controlled existence was about to change forever. 3 days after the cafe, Nathan found himself studying Isabel's quarterly analysis report for the 4th time. Her work was exceptional, sharp insights, creative solutions, thorough research. He had always recognized her professional value, but now he noticed details that had escaped him before. The way she arrived early each morning despite her personal devastation. The quiet determination in her posture. The gentle way she mentored junior analysts who struggled with complex projections. He began finding reasons to interact with her. Questions about reports he could have easily emailed. Brief conversations in hallways that lingered longer than necessary. One morning, when her favorite coffee cart was closed, he brought her usual order, vanilla latte with extra foam, placing it on her desk with a simple nod. Megan noticed immediately, pulling Isabel aside. The CEO does not personally deliver coffee to analysts. What is happening? Nothing. He is just being considerate. But Isabel wondered too. Nathan Ashworth was known for being distant, untouchable, a man who built an empire while keeping everyone at arm's length. This sudden attention felt deliberate, though she could not understand why. 2 weeks later, his intercom buzzed at her desk. "Miss Crane, please come to my office." The top floor offered breathtaking city views through floor-to-ceiling windows. Nathan stood silhouetted against the glass, hands in his pockets, the picture of controlled authority in his tailored navy suit. "I need someone to accompany me to Chicago next week. 3 days of investor meetings." His gray eyes held hers steadily. "Your analysis work has been exceptional. I want you presenting the financial projections." "Of course, sir." Isabel kept her voice professional despite her racing pulse. "And Miss Crane?" He paused. "How are you doing?" The personal question caught her off guard. "I am fine. Are you?" Something in his expression softened. "You seem tired lately." "Personal matters. Nothing affecting my work." Nathan nodded slowly. "If you need time, take it. Your well-being matters." This was not the cold, unapproachable CEO everyone whispered about. As Isabel left his office, she sensed something significant had shifted, though she could not name what. The flight to Chicago was on his private jet, leather seats, polished wood, luxury beyond anything Isabel had experienced. Nathan worked across from her, occasionally seeking her opinion on various matters. He actually listened when she spoke, considered her insights, treated her as an equal rather than subordinate. "You have excellent instincts for risk assessment," he commented during their review. "Where did you study?" "State University. I worked 2 jobs to afford it." "That builds character." His eyes held hers longer than necessary. "I respect people who fight for what they want." The hotel placed them on the same floor, rooms across the hall from each other. Meetings went smoothly, with Isabel's presentations impressing veteran investors. Nathan watched her with what looked like pride, praising her publicly afterward. That evening, he knocked on her door. "Dinner. There is an excellent steakhouse nearby." They should have discussed business. Instead, conversation drifted toward personal territory. Nathan shared stories about his father building Ashworth Enterprises from nothing, the pressure of legacy, his broken engagement 5 years ago. "Victoria wanted the lifestyle, not me," he admitted quietly. "She cheated with my business partner. Took me years to realize I was just a means to her ends. I understand that feeling." The words escaped before Isabel could stop.
"Them. My ex Derek. 2 years together, cheating the entire time." "I know." Nathan's admission hung between them. Isabel's eyes widened. "What?" "I was in the cafe that day. The booth behind you." He did not look away. "I heard everything you told your friend." She should have felt angry, mortified. Instead, she felt something else entirely, understanding. "Perhaps that explains your recent attention." "Partly." Nathan leaned forward. "But also because once I actually paid attention, I saw you. Really saw you. Brilliant, principled, resilient. You deserve someone who recognizes that." The air between them felt electric. Isabel's hands trembled slightly. "This is complicated. You are my employer." "I know. And if you want me to step back, I will." His sincerity was unmistakable. "But I needed you to know that I see your worth, even if that fool never did." They talked until the restaurant closed. And when Nathan walked her back to the hotel, something fundamental had changed between them forever. Chicago transformed everything. Isabel caught Nathan watching her during remaining meetings, his expression unguarded in ways she suspected few witnessed. On the flight home, he reached across and took her hand. "Have dinner with me. A real date, not business. People will talk. Let them." His thumb traced circles on her palm. "I want to know you without pretense, without roles. Just 2 people seeing where this leads." Against every practical instinct, Isabel agreed. Their first official date was at a quiet Italian restaurant far from anyone who might recognize them. Nathan had reserved a private room, candles flickering on white tablecloths, soft music playing distantly. "Tell me about your family," he said, genuinely curious. Isabel shared stories about her single mother who worked double shifts to provide, her younger brother now in medical school, the small apartment where she learned that love meant sacrifice. "My mother taught me that integrity matters more than convenience," Isabel explained. "That some things are worth protecting until the right moment." Nathan reached across the table, covering her hand with his. "That is why Derek's betrayal hurt so deeply. You gave him something precious, your trust, your time, your commitment, and he treated it as worthless. You understand because Victoria did the same to you." "Yes." His jaw tightened. "For 5 years, I convinced myself that vulnerability was weakness. That keeping everyone distant would protect me from being hurt again." "What changed?" Nathan's gray eyes met hers with startling intensity. "I heard a woman crying in a cafe, confessing that she had saved something sacred for someone who did not deserve it. And I recognized myself in her pain, but also something I had lost." "What?" The capacity to believe that genuine connection was still possible. He lifted her hand to his lips. You had not become bitter, Isabel. Despite everything, you still felt deeply, still valued things beyond self-protection. I wanted to understand how. Isabel felt tears threatening. I am not as strong as you think. Some nights I still wonder if I was foolish. Never foolish. Nathan moved to the seat beside her, cupping her face gently. Brave. Principled. Rare. Their first kiss was tender, questioning. Isabel felt walls she had constructed crumbling as Nathan's lips moved against hers with restrained passion. When they finally separated, both were breathing unsteadily. I have not felt this way in years, he murmured against her forehead. Maybe ever. You terrify me, Isabel admitted. How quickly this is happening, how much I already feel. We can slow down. Take whatever time you need. But when she looked into his eyes, Isabel saw her own longing reflected back, two wounded people recognizing sanctuary in each other. Or, she whispered, we can stop pretending we are not already falling. Their second kiss was deeper, more urgent. Nathan pulled her close, his arms wrapping around her like she was something precious he feared losing. They talked until midnight, sharing vulnerabilities neither had spoken aloud before. Nathan described the emptiness of his penthouse, the hollow feeling of success without anyone to share it. Isabel confessed her fear of trusting again, of believing in something beautiful only to watch it shatter. I will not hurt you, Nathan promised. I cannot guarantee perfection, but I can promise honesty. Always. When he drove her home, walking her to her door, Isabel felt something she had not experienced in years, hope. Good night, Isabel. Good night, Nathan. Their goodbye kiss lingered, sweet with promise. And as Isabel entered her apartment, she knew with certainty that Nathan Ashworth had become essential to her happiness. This was only the beginning.
Gossip spread through Ashworth Enterprises like wildfire. Within days of their return from Chicago, whispers followed Isabel through hallways. People questioned her recent assignments, implied she was advancing through inappropriate means. The accusations stung more than she expected. Nathan noticed her withdrawn behavior immediately, calling her to his office with concern evident in his expression. Talk to me. What is wrong? People are saying I only got the Chicago assignment because you are interested in me. That I do not actually deserve my position. Her voice emerged bitter. That I am sleeping my way to better projects. Nathan's jaw tightened dangerously. That is unacceptable. But they are not entirely wrong, are they? You did choose me because of personal interest. I chose you because you are exceptional at your job. The personal interest was separate. He moved around his desk to stand before her. But you are right that this complicates things. He explained about an opening in strategic development, a significant promotion that would place her under different management, with substantially increased responsibilities. You would earn it entirely on merit. No one could claim favoritism. You are moving me to another department. Isabel was not sure whether to feel relieved or wounded. I am giving you opportunity to prove yourself independently. Then when we are together publicly, no one can question whether you deserve your success. He took her hands gently. You are going to shine there, Isabel. I know it. The transfer happened within 2 weeks. The new position was challenging and rewarding. Isabel threw herself into work with renewed determination. Without the shadow of dating the CEO hanging over her, she excelled spectacularly. Her proposals were implemented, her strategies praised, her reputation rebuilt on undeniable merit. Nathan kept professional distance at the office but called every night. They talked for hours about everything and nothing. He sent flowers to her apartment with handwritten notes that made her smile. Took her to quiet restaurants where they could converse without interruption. Cooked terrible dinners at his penthouse while she laughed at his complete lack of culinary skill. 6 weeks after Chicago, lying in his arms on his couch after another failed cooking attempt, Isabel made a decision. Nathan? His fingers traced lazy patterns on her shoulder. I want more. Her voice trembled slightly. With you. I want everything. He stilled, pulling back to look at her face. Isabel, we do not have to rush anything. I know you were waiting for marriage. I was waiting for someone worthy. She touched his face, feeling rough stubble beneath her fingertips. Derek was never that person. But you. She kissed him softly. You see me. Actually see me. You value what I protected without demanding it. I would never pressure you. You are not pressuring. I am choosing. Isabel held his gaze steadily. I want to be completely vulnerable with someone who deserves that trust. I want it to be you. Nathan's breath caught. His eyes searched hers for certainty, finding only conviction and desire. Not here. Not like this. He kissed her forehead tenderly. I have a house in the mountains. Private, beautiful, peaceful. Come with me this weekend. Let me make it special. Yes. That single word contained years of waiting, months of healing, and a future she was finally ready to embrace. The mountain retreat exceeded every expectation. A modern structure of glass and timber nestled among towering pines, with a private lake reflecting autumn colors and complete seclusion from the outside world. Nathan had prepared everything thoughtfully, her favorite flowers in crystal vases, soft music playing through hidden speakers, champagne chilling beside a roaring fireplace. This is stunning, Isabel breathed, watching sunset paint the sky through enormous windows. I come here when I need to remember what matters beyond business. Nathan wrapped his arms around her from behind. I wanted to share it with you. They made dinner together, laughing as Nathan proved again that cooking was not his strength. Isabel took over, creating simple pasta while he opened wine and lit candles. After eating, they sat on the deck watching stars emerge. The mountain air was crisp, carrying scents of pine and wood smoke. I need to tell you something. Nathan's voice was serious. I have not felt this way in years. You make me want to trust again, believe in something real. I feel the same. Isabel turned to face him fully. You scare me, if I am honest. The intensity of this, how fast it has happened. We can slow down. She silenced him with a kiss that communicated everything words could not. When they separated, both were breathless. I do not want slow. Isabel stood, extending her hand. I want you. Nathan led her inside to the master bedroom, where more candles flickered and soft sheets awaited. He paused at the doorway, cradling her face in his hands. Are you certain? I have never been more certain of anything. They undressed each other slowly, reverently. Nathan worshipped every inch of her skin with tender kisses, whispering how beautiful she was, how precious, how long he had waited to find someone who made him feel alive again. Isabel surrendered to sensation, his hands tracing her curves, his lips exploring sensitive places, his body warm against hers. Years of waiting dissolved into this moment of perfect connection. Their union was tender and passionate, gentle and intense. Nathan moved with her carefully, attentively, ensuring her pleasure before his own. When they finally crested together, Isabel cried out with release that was physical and emotional, the shattering of old wounds and the birth of something beautiful. Afterward, tangled in silk sheets, Nathan held her against his chest while his fingers traced patterns on her back. Thank you, he murmured. For trusting me with something so precious. Thank you for being worth trusting. Isabel kissed his chest, feeling his heart pound beneath her lips. I spent years protecting myself for the wrong person. Now I understand, I was actually waiting for you. They made love again as moonlight streamed through windows, then talked until dawn about futures neither had dared imagine. Nathan spoke of wanting family, partnership, someone to build a life with. Isabel shared dreams of children, stability, love that lasted. 3 months later, at the same mountain retreat where they first surrendered to each other, Nathan knelt before Isabel with a ring that had belonged to his grandmother. "You taught me that vulnerability is not weakness," he said, voice rough with emotion. "You showed me that trust is worth the risk. I want to spend my life proving I deserve yours." "Yes." Isabel pulled him up, kissing him through joyful tears. "1,000 times yes." Their wedding was intimate, close friends, family, the mountain retreat where their story truly began. Isabel wore her mother's veil, and Nathan cried when she walked down the aisle. Standing at the altar, exchanging vows they had written themselves, Isabel marveled at how pain had led to purpose. Derek's betrayal, which had shattered her so completely, had ultimately guided her towards something infinitely more precious. Nathan Ashworth, her husband, her partner, her unexpected blessing, smiled at her with eyes full of love. "I overheard your heart breaking in a cafe," he whispered as they sealed their vows with a kiss. "And I spent every day since trying to help it heal." "You did more than heal it." Isabel touched his face tenderly. "You gave it a home." They walked back down the aisle together, toward a future built on honesty, trust, and the beautiful truth that sometimes the worst moments of our lives lead us directly to the best.